Good morning to everyone and welcome to the announcement of the Pennsylvania Bar Association's 2016 Public Information Campaign. I'm Lars Anderson and I'm proud to serve as the chair of the Pennsylvania Bar Association Committee and Public Relations Committee. Since 1997, the Pennsylvania Bar Association and a variety of partners have organized and implemented public information campaigns to help Pennsylvanians better understand the law and their rights. Here to provide some details about the 2016 campaign that we are rolling out here today is the Pennsylvania Bar Association President, Sarah A. Austin. Sarah.
Thank you, Lars. Good morning. Nearly 1 in 50 adults has a criminal record. And a criminal record, even for one-time and low-level offenders, can carry a lifetime of consequences. Pennsylvania is now happily joining a growing number of states that are implementing new measures in addition to existing expungement laws to limit access to information about criminal histories. The primary goal of these new measures is to remove barriers to employment, housing, and education. Beginning November 14th in Pennsylvania, individuals convicted of some nonviolent second and third-degree misdemeanors, including ungraded offenses, can petition the court for an order of limited access to that information. It is important to note that anyone petitioning the court must have completed all punishment from previous convictions and have had no arrests or prosecutions for at least 10 years. And as the name implies, the court's order of limited access is just that, limited. Although criminal background information can be removed from public views, the information will still be available to law enforcement and state licensing agencies. Today, the Pennsylvania Bar Association is kicking off its Understanding Expungement and Limited Access to Criminal Records public information campaign. This will help Pennsylvanians better understand the existing expungement laws and the impact of the new law limiting access to criminal records. This informational campaign has received grant assistance from the Pennsylvania Bar Insurance and Trust Fund, which joins with the PBA to provide the necessary financial support to promote the campaign and fund the production of educational materials. I would like to thank members of our PBA Community and Public Relations Committee for organizing this outreach effort. Thanks also go to members of the PBA Criminal Justice Section, the PBA Legal Services to the Public Education Committee, and the PBA Correction System Committee, all of whom assisted with assembling the information for this campaign. In a few minutes, we're going to hear from members of the Criminal Justice Section and the Legal Services to the Public Committee. We also have some campaign partners to acknowledge. 34 county bar associations from around the state are helping the PBA get the word out about this campaign. Thanks to all of them. Near me here by the podium is a large-scale version of the campaign ad that is currently appearing and will be appearing in newspapers around the state. A partnership with the Pennsylvania News Media Association will allow us to run ads about the campaign in more than 70 daily and weekly newspapers during the next 2 weeks. These ads will reach 4.1 million Pennsylvania readers. In addition, in partnership with the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters, a 30-second TV and radio spot will be airing in all Pennsylvania markets during the next 2 weeks. This first-of-its-kind agreement with PAB will help communicate to more Pennsylvania residents who could benefit from existing expungement laws and this new law limiting access to criminal records. PBA is making it easy for anyone to get information. Every newspaper ad includes a toll-free 800 number or a local telephone number to call and request more information. A brochure, just like this one, that explains the expungement process and the new law limiting access to criminal records will be mailed free of charge to anyone who calls in and requests it. The newspaper ads and the TV and radio spots also include the PBA's website address, which is www.pabar.org. www.pabar.org. Those with internet access who prefer to print the information on their own can merely click a few links and access that informational brochure. We at PBA are pleased that we are able to support efforts to help Pennsylvanians understand existing and new laws that can help them gain access to a brighter future. Again, thank you to all of the Pennsylvania Bar Association members, the county bar associations, and the many other partners and supporters who are making this campaign possible. With that, I will turn the podium back to Lars Anderson to introduce our next speakers.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Our next two presenters will be sharing a lot of helpful information in a relatively short amount of time. So afterwards, we're going to have a short question and answer for you if you have any. First presenter will be Charles DiTullio of Westchester. He's the past chair of the PBA Criminal Justice Section. Chuck is going to delve into additional details of the new law and what offenses are potentially eligible to be approved for limited access. Michael B. Lee of Philadelphia is the current co-chair of the PBA Legal Services to the Public Committee and Executive Director of Philadelphia Warriors for Social Equity. Mike is going to talk about his experience helping individuals through the existing expungement process and his expectations about the impact of the new law. So without further ado, I'll bring up Mike and Chuck.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Charles DiTullio, and that's Mike. What we'd like to do is kind of split this up a little bit with respect to the new statute. Senate Bill 166 was passed and signed by the governor. It goes into effect on November the 14th. A couple of things that people need to know. Number one, it is not an expungement bill. It is strictly a limited access criminal history records. Number two, it's not the type of bill that's going to enable everybody to get it, because there are some exceptions to what you can have limited access to. Those exceptions deal with anything, for example, that you might have in terms of a maintenance requirement to report for a sexual offense. Other specific offenses are also listed in the statute, things involving intimidation of witnesses or things that would involve impersonating police officers. Also, the statute prohibits you from getting it if you have a conviction that is penalized by 2 or more years of incarceration. The bill specifically provides for second, third degree misdemeanors and ungraded offenses. That list is very, very long. On the other hand, in order to understand how this works, the individual that may or may not qualify for this should seek legal counsel that knows what to look for with respect to the history. Part of the history goes back 10 years from the date that you would be filing this. That 10-year look back enables the individual who is the subject of this to determine whether or not the offense that they want to have limited access to actually qualifies for it. The difficulty that the individual is going to run into when they do this is they may not know what they were actually convicted of, because this involves a conviction. They may not have any documentation that helps the attorney who would do the filings know what to do. And they can make errors if they try to do this on their own. So first rule of thumb is try to find an attorney that knows how to do this, have them review it, and if you do try it on your own, be prepared for some pitfalls. This does have to go through the district attorney's office of the county in which the offense is that you want to have limited access. So the district attorneys are also going to be looking at the document filings. The other element of this is going to be that there will be a higher filing fee than is normally used for expunctions. That filing fee is $34. but it also increased the filing fee for expunctions. So even the new statute is going to increase filing fees that are currently at $32 for filing an expunction. It is important to understand that this is not an expunction statute. It only allows limited access to those criminal history records which will still be there on that person's record. An expunction is a total decimation of those records. They are not to be found by any particular agencies, not even the general public should be able to find them. That's the whole idea of the expungement. It is to wipe something clean completely. The limited access means that the records will continue to exist, but that they will be permitted limited access to certain agencies. Those agencies are listed in the new statute, which comes under Title 18, Section 9122.1. Those agencies are all law enforcement, and all those licensing type agencies that require background checks to be licensed or registered within the state. There is no comprehensive list of that, but those agencies can be found under Title 18, Section 9124, for those who want to look it up. The procedure to do this, I'm going to leave that up to Mike because he does a lot of this work, but that's also still kind of up in the air, but he's going to explain to you what to do next. If there are questions, if you can please hold them, we'll take the questions jointly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Always a difficult job following you and your excellent knowledge of this area, which impacts 1 in 3 adults. Just remember that as we go through the rest of this press conference. So the procedure for limited access orders will very closely mirror the existing procedure for expungement orders. That means it will be filed in the county where the arrest and conviction occurred. It will be somewhat up to the discretion of the county district attorney whether or not they agree or disagree with removing or limiting access to this. And most importantly, as Chuck said, there is an additional $134 filing fee that hopefully, if you work with your county and meet the informal populous guidelines, that fee will be waived so you can still access this form of justice. Now, after hearing such an excellent explanation of the similarities and differences between expungements, you might be asking, well, why would someone want a limited access order? First, as Chuck said, convictions under Pennsylvania law created as a misdemeanor or felony are not eligible for an expungement unless one of 3 things happens. You receive a pardon by the governor, or statutorily, you're 70 years old or older and have been arrested prosecution free for the last 10 years, or you've been dead for at least 3 years. So a huge number of people who have heard this information have asked for more options. And that's what this is, a new option and a new form of relief addressing the old problem, which is the dissemination of criminal records. The new harm of the digital era is how these records are viewed and perceived outside of the criminal justice world. So we have HR directors, landlords, small business owners, all these people who might not have the legal understanding to properly understand and assess the risk that may or may not be associated with a criminal conviction. And this limited access order will remove that eligible offense from the risk assessment for this person, which should allow for better determinations of someone's qualifications and character for a job as opposed to prior conduct. And we hope that by limiting the dissemination of this criminal record, we can also limit the discrimination around criminal records and really start to combat the stereotypes that harm up to 1 in 3 people. So on behalf of the Pennsylvania Bar Association, we are very happy and hold it as a very high duty to make sure that the public is fully informed and educated about the existing laws, current laws that are going onto the books, and new laws that may be made so we can continue to strive to be a more perfect union and have a more productive and compassionate public. Thank you.
you, Charles. Does anyone have any questions for either Mike or Chuck regarding the new law? Okay. Since there are no questions, on behalf of the Pennsylvania Bar Association, we thank you all for coming out to today's news conference and appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you.